Hey everybody, this is PJ DeCaesar, and you're watching my 100% speedrun of Bionic Commando Rearmed. I'll be the first to say that this run's pretty sloppy and has plenty of room for improvement. However, this category is a real pain in the ass to run. Between every attempt that makes it to at least stage 5, or area 5 rather, which is the first level you play, you have to close the game down, manually overwrite the save data with another save file, and then reboot the game. So it makes it a real pain to do a whole lot of attempts. And this game also has a tremendous amount of RNG, and you would just drive yourself absolutely crazy trying to optimize this time. So instead what I was aiming for with this run was a run that got every major skip on the first try. Didn't have any major execution errors, and well, that's it, really. So the 100% category in this game is really interesting for a number of reasons, which will probably become more clear as we get closer to the end of the run. For now, all you have to know is that in every stage from areas 1 through 12, we're going to be collecting the Yashichi, which is a thing that I just grabbed there. It's like one of Capcom's old emblem things. And if you collect all 12 of those, you can get something else later that we'll see. And then in every stage, after you finish the level, you kill the boss, it pulls up a window that says, "Hey, congratulations, you beat the stage," and it tells you your time and gives you a score and all that, and it tells you how many secrets you've collected. So we're going to require collecting all of those secrets. The Yashichi counts as 1 for every single stage that I mentioned, and then there's a variety of other things you can collect. This is one example. This is a secret challenge room. That one in particular is Secret Challenge Room 5. There are 7 of those that we're going to be collecting. And then all 6 weapons and all 6 of the weapon upgrades and all 10 accessories. So essentially a full inventory screen, all of the secret challenge rooms, and then the purple matrix and the Bionic Commando prototype weapon. That's the 100% definition. So that was Area 5. It's a relatively straightforward stage. I mean, for the most part, you just hold up and push grapple and you make it to the end. And then we have to fight this boss, the Siege Tank, or Big Mama. I don't remember what Big Mama stands for. It's supposed to be an acronym, but I don't really care. Essentially, all you have to do is hit the weak parts on the treads at the bottom, through the glowing orange parts, and then pull these 3 bolts out. And once you pull the 3 bolts out, then the cockpit is revealed, and you can either shoot the boss to death, or just wait for him to charge again, and that'll instantly end the battle. Now, the frustrating thing is that once you break the treads, he goes into this cycle where he'll always attack, and then if you're close, he'll charge, and if you're far away, he'll continue to attack. But the boss will pause for a random number of seconds between the attack and the charge. And sometimes it's instant, and sometimes it's literally 6 full seconds. And anywhere in between, of course. So this boss alone can cost you 10 seconds easy. And I really didn't want to have to deal with that for 100%. I already am dealing with it for any percent, and it's miserable. So for 100%, I really just want, not worst pattern, and then we'll be okay. Alright, so the thing we just grabbed there is the steel boots. This game has one distinct advantage over the NES version, and that's all of the accessories are automatically equipped. So you can see Spencer's footwear now are they're black instead of the white pumps that he had before. Which is pretty neat. You never have to make the choice between a health expansion and steel boots like you do in the NES version. Or flares, which we'll see in this stage. So I grabbed the flares in Area 13 at the beginning of this run, and they activate immediately in this stage once it becomes dark. The stage is playable when it's dark, but it's much more difficult, and we have to collect the flares at some point anyways to satisfy the category. Alright, so one of the main reasons why we did Area 5 first is because we get the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher is really good DPS on certain bosses, as we'll find out. And it's also used to break open a lot of these walls. because a lot of the secrets are tucked away in there, and it's one of the really lazy things that I hate about this game. So, I mean, essentially this is meant to be a remake of the NES version, but the NES version didn't have any of these collectibles, and the maps were designed in that way. So now we're using the same exact maps as the NES version, but we're shoehorning in a bunch of collectibles. So there are a lot of these that are in places that don't really make any sense. Some of them are just like literally down pits that would kill you otherwise, or just in a wall that you have to blow up, or you know, just up in like the corner of a room. It's really lazy. It's really uninspired. But it is what it is. We have to deal with it. Speaking of lazy and uninspired, we have this hallway, which takes us to Platoon 1. So this boss is kind of tricky. The only two ways that I know of to kill him are using grenades and kicking him. And kicking him is much faster, much more convenient, and for a reason that will become clear later, we don't have access to the grenades. So that's a demonstration of steel boots. When you're swinging, it just decimates anybody that you swing through. It's really, really good in this game. So we do Area 4 because we're rewarded with the plasma rifle. It's a weapon that is really effective against machines. And we wanted to do Area 4 at that point because the plasma rifle upgrade is in this stage, and it requires the standard plasma rifle. Oh, I forgot I missed that grapple here. Yeah, this game has a lot of problems with grapples taking wrong trajectories and just not connecting with things when they're supposed to. Which is again why I really don't want to try and optimize this game, because it's infuriating. So the room for the plasma rifle upgrade is just right down here, this doorway. We're going to steel boot kick this robot and then hit these two switches, and that opens up the door. And I'm going to do something here, a really cool trick. You can kill yourself, and if you hold up while you respawn, and you're in the right room, like the room has an open door at the start where you respawn, it spawns you in the previous room, so you save a little bit of time in the load. And I kill myself there because it refreshes the timing on all of the barrels, and it allows me to climb faster. Alright, so that's unfortunate. I'm pretty sure my spacing was okay to grab the barrel, but it whipped. And this boss is on a bit of a cycle. He sways left and right, and you know, how much he sways is random. So he gave me an unfavorable pattern, and I missed the barrel, which meant that I had to wait for an additional left-right cycle. It's cost a few seconds. Not a big deal, but it's just like, it's minor stuff like that that's frustrating in this game. Alright, in this version you can actually grab onto that wooden platform I just shot and avoid touching the swamp at all, but it's ridiculously hard and it almost never works. So the secret challenge room in this area is accessed by blowing up that corner and then coming down here to the door. I'm not sure if you're supposed to be able to make that shot with a standard rocket launcher like I did, or if you're supposed to wait until you get the rocket launcher that you can aim. But regardless, I do it this way. And again, I do some death abuse there, and that's because in this room, the interior, there's an elevator that we have to ride up to the top to get the SHE. And the elevator is in motion based on, oh gosh, how to word this. Basically, it starts from a certain point once you spawn, and if we don't death abuse there, then we have to wait for like 30 or 40. I forgot I whipped that throw. I threw him clear overhead. Oh, it's so good. So we catch this platform as it's moving up, which is the earliest you can catch it. It's the best cycle. If we didn't death abuse, then we would catch it on the way down. Like, we would have to wait for it on its way down, and then ride it all the way back up. It ends up costing like 20 seconds or 30 seconds or so. It's a really, really unfortunate thing. Okay, so we have this boss. I don't really know what this guy's name is. I don't pay real close attention to this stuff. Essentially, you have to pull this guy down to the floor, and once he touches the floor, he gets electrocuted, and then you can shoot him. You You can either do it by pulling underneath, like I did there, or by standing on top. And for this fight, it's fastest to grab the right side of the lamp and then immediately diagonal grapple to the bottom of that guy. So, that was a quite good stage. We missed the grapple at the beginning, but otherwise, really solid. We get another communicator chip here. This is used in areas 8, 9, and 7. Even in any percent, you're required to get every communicator chip. Even if you don't use a communicator room, you're still required to get the chips. So Area 8 is one of the coolest stages in the run. I don't remember how it went here. This is my first time rewatching the run. But there are a lot of really cool tricks that you can do. A lot of them are really, really inconsistent, but they're great when they work. Ah, yes! So that is the first time this year that I got hit by a grenade from that guy. Normally if you make that approach, he always throws a grenade short, but this time he just threw him right at me. But it's okay. We got the perfect setup for the shotgun list, is what I call that. So we grabbed the upgraded shotgun without ever actually getting the original shotgun. And when you do that, the game gives you the original shotgun and the upgrade all at once, and it's completely fine with that. You're supposed to have the original shotgun. You're supposed to grab like the lower platform, and the shotgun, when you fire it from a standstill, gives you momentum to swing. So you're supposed to do it that way, but with a really, really precise grapple, we can just grab directly up there and avoid having to get the shotgun at all. The rest of the stage is just some really tight maneuvers. In the one room where I rode the elevator up, it's worth mentioning that you can do it without riding the elevator at all, and it's about half a second faster. But if you get a bad pattern from either of the soldiers, then you end up losing 2 seconds instead. And I haven't gotten a good ascent there in a single run, so I've just been using the elevator. In this we just have a refight with the platoon. This is Platoon 2. He is still weak to getting kicked. Alright, so what's happening here is that I force a truck encounter. And the trucks are really silly in this version. First of all, you don't have to fight them. Once you get into a truck encounter, you can quit to the main menu and load the game up, and the truck is just gone. And you can proceed normally. So it's not a big deal if you get into a truck encounter. Here's the interrogation. Just have to poke him 5 times, and he tells me about the secret tunnels. Those are required to collect some items. But the trucks in this game, they all have a set spawn point and a set path, just like all of the other Bionic Commando games with that system. But when the map is loading after a stage is completed, if you hold a direction, if you buffer a movement, all of the trucks reset to their spawn. So the truck route is really, really simple. You can go basically wherever you want, because you can force the trucks to be anywhere. You can just force them to get out of your way. But what we do there is we force a truck immediately because there's a spawn point on Area 8, and it just works out being faster that way. There are a few areas where you can't do that buffer without getting into a truck encounter, and that's one of them. Alright, there's only one secret here. I stall on the last switch to wait for a good spike cycle. Really, really good cancels on the way down here to get through the falling platform on the earliest possible cycle. And that saves like 4 seconds or something. It's really, really hard to do, so I'm glad I got it in this run. So we're using the upgraded shotgun here. The shotgun is really effective against these guys because it hits high and low. It fires like in a cone, and it kills them in one shot. So it's really handy. This stage is a real pain because if you get bad luck from those ceiling grappling commando guys, they can take basically all of your health away, and enemies will only drop an item or pick up once. So when you go through there the first time to start hitting the switches, if you get bad luck, you will not have enough health to make it through the second time, and you won't be able to collect any health because all the enemies will have dropped score tokens the first time through. Alright, so we have a refight with Big Mama. We start by firing a rocket. If you shoot the treads with rockets, you only have to hit them twice instead of 3 times. But we start the fight by firing a rocket and then retreating, and the rocket will hit the tread as Big Mama's moving forward. One of the concerns is that The rocket launcher fires a rocket that has random velocity and random trajectory. The trajectory that randomness is a bit harder to explain. It's always forward, but the way it wiggles is random and can give you some really big problems. But if you try that strat and you get a really, really high velocity rocket, it'll hit before the tread is vulnerable, and you essentially lose the fight. And I'm going to try another trick with the rocket to kill this guy instead of waiting for him to charge. And I'm going to fire a rocket as I'm pulling the bolt out, and it's essentially just a blind guess, because we have to try and guess how fast the rocket's going to move and time it such that it hits Big Mama the moment that I pull the bolt out. And I actually was lucky enough to get it here. And when that happens, we're able to kill him before he attacks, and it saves like 4 or 5 whole seconds. It's pretty substantial. And I got really, really good luck on his delays between cycles, too. So, for some perspective, that Area 9 was 15 seconds faster than my best. And my best also got good luck. So, that's the kind of luck that we're up against when I talk about really, really crippling RNG on boss patterns. Alright, so here's Area 7. Really cool grapple at the start. I really like the movement through Area 7. It used to be my least favorite stage, but I've become quite fond of it, mostly due to the boss. So I'm going to be using Death Abuse here again, but because of the pants that I got in Area 8, they soak 1 hit. So I want to make sure that the pants are gone before I'm ready to Death Abuse, so that I can die immediately. Now I'm going to go in this room just to activate a checkpoint. You respawn at the last door that you went through. That's an unfortunate miss. It doesn't really cost much time, but it's like I hit it dead on and it didn't trigger. Alright, so here we go. We're going to grab the Yashichi. If I didn't activate that checkpoint, I would have to go through essentially the entire stage again. So it's much, much faster to do it this way. So this boss is a unique boss. He has no refights. This is the only place you fight him. Now, what you'd normally do is use, like a shotgun or revolver or something. But what I'm going to do is tank a hit, and then during my very lengthy invincibility frames, I'm going to fire a whole bunch of rockets point blank at him. It takes 3 rockets to end his phase, and you're forced into 2 cycles. You can't kill him in the first cycle. So, once again, we wait for him to hit us. When you're crouching in this game, you get no recoil at all, so I recover immediately after he hits me, and I just unload a bunch of rockets into him, and it makes that fight extremely consistent. And that fight used to be the worst source of RNG. Like, it would be plus or minus 30 seconds, depending on where he would spawn, where he'd decide to fire at you. So, that's a really big help. And that threat was based on something that Bag the Tea came up with many years ago. Bag the Tea is the other main, really good runner of this game. So he and I collaborated quite a lot a few years ago, and then both of us got sick of this game. But the strats are still good. Alright, so we're back in Area 7. We need Super Joe's machine gun to open up that door to get Super Joe's machine gun upgrade. And then we're out. So up next is Area 10, and this is a really stressful stage because we have to do a damage boost that takes like 80% of our health away, which means that we can't get shot by anything throughout the rest of the stage. Now in 100% we have the pants, which will soak 1 bullet, but there's also 1 damage boost that I like to do here. So it's a tricky situation because that grapple didn't hit, and I was going to be shot there, and I was fortunately able to claw away that bullet. This is a really, really critical grapple here. Being able to get up here from the original approach is really important, because otherwise you have to do backup strats that are really slow and usually end up getting you shot. So that's the damage boost, and away we go. So that gun that I used, the bouncy gun, it's called the Vector Cannon. It's a really, really handy gun for a first playthrough, because it allows you to hit enemies that are above you, so you can climb safely. The upgrade is even better. but it's not terribly useful in a speedrun because it has a slow rate of fire and low damage. So that's the damage boost that allows us to grab the ceiling as well, which gives me a really quick approach, and saves me from having to kill the fly droid operator and the ceiling turret. So that's a really, really important damage boost. And this, believe it or not, is the intended way to grab this Yashichi. You can either do this, or you can use a recoil from Super Joe's machine gun, but it's significantly faster to use the shotgun. So, yep, here we go. And I killed this guy because I wanted to get another health pickup. I think I was still in danger of being shot if I got touched by a fly droid or a bullet. Okay, so here's the rematch with the D-pad boss. And again, you're supposed to pull him down really far and then grapple around the side and then land on him. But with some really tight grapples that are... they still make me nervous. You can grab the ceiling by using those lamps and land immediately on him, and then just stand and push him all the way down to the floor. And that is the best that fight can go. That was a really, really good stage overall. So we force the truck encounter here again. Area 10 is one of the truck spawn points. Those are the only 2 truck encounters we get into in this run. What we get from Area 10 is the health recovery pills. And unlike the NES version where it's an activatable item that will refill your health, this just gives you a longer health bar. Alright, so Area 11 is really scary because there's a skip that I try and do at the very beginning here, and this grapple is super dumb. It's incredibly tight, and the setup is tough. So even if you get the setup perfect, there's a good chance that grapple just won't work. And here I got the super rare pattern that I've actually never seen before. So normally if you do the damage boost off the bottom guy, and you crouch and then you just grapple straight up, both of the other 2 guys are going to just stand in place and swing at you, and your iframes are going to just ignore it. But that time he actually charged forward, and I have no idea why he did that. But there was nothing I could do. I had 0 options. And just in case he did that again, I grabbed some health from that robot. So that's a bit of a time loss, and it's a pain. It's a real pain. I think I missed this swing, actually. Oh, I don't. Okay, that must have been the previous round. Oh man, I was almost really sad. Okay, that's not nearly as bad as I thought it was. Okay. So those are the 2 collectibles there, the secret challenge room. If you didn't do the stupid grapple that I did there, you would have to go up past the knife guys, fall down the first pit to pull the bolt out, and then go back up past the knife guys again, and fall down to where the door opens up. So it saves like 20 seconds or something. It's a really big save. Yep. Alright, so this fight, you're not supposed to be able to do that way. You're supposed to grab the long beam to the left, up and to the left of where that guy's chair is. But you can just grab really far into where the chair is and shoot him from behind. It's a little bit faster, and I find it easier. Okay, Area 12. It's just like the NES Area 12, except significantly easier, because we don't have to play any rooms. We start by falling right through the elevator, which is... it's a skip that I found just by brute force. I got tired of riding it, and I just dedicated like half an hour to finding a way to fall through it, and I did. That was a perfect room. Our goal with this room is to get the Yashichi quickly, and also to get hit by 2 bullets and shed our pants and bulletproof vest. We're going to be damage boosting through the barrier. Oh, that's another elevator skip. You can use the same method that I used for the big one at the beginning of the stage on the small elevators here, but it's really, really hard, and it usually doesn't work. So I just pull myself into the corner and go around the elevator instead of through it. But yeah, those are the barriers. You can just get shot by a bullet and then just swing right through it, and the game is totally fine with that. As a quick reminder, in the NES version, the barriers are so robust that even if you have complete invincibility, the barriers will still damage you. So this is a stage that's supposed to be pretty long, but we skip all of the elevators and we skip both of the barriers. So it's a relatively simple stage. It is the easiest in the entire game, for sure. This is where Generalissimo Kilt tells us about his plan, and the leader is revived, but Spencer doesn't care. He's heard this song and dance before. He's just swinging on the ceiling, having a grand old time. Alright, so you might notice that we haven't done Area 1 or Area 2 yet. It's time for a major backtrack. So when you have all 12 Yashichis, there's an item that you can collect in Area 0. So we have to backtrack at some point, and it just kind of makes sense with the way that the trucks are aligned and the way that the pickups work to do it in this manner. So we're going to take the tunnels. There's an item in this tunnel and Tunnel 1. This is the hardest stage in the game. This stage is a dick. This stage actually was patched in the 360 version to not have switches at all. It's a good change. So my pace through this stage is actually really good, and I could have just swung immediately when I got here and landed on the platform, but it's extremely risky because you have to swing on the bottom of this spike, and sometimes it just kills you. And in fact, sometimes even when you ride the platform, you get hit by the spike a tile away from its hitbox. So compared to a completely optimal stage, I missed 2 cycles, it's like 15 seconds. However, I didn't die and have to redo the entire stage. So, I'll happily take it. Considering I didn't make a mistake there, considering the game just decided to do what it was going to do, I'm pretty fine with it. Alright, Area 2. This stage is a pain. It used to be significantly more of a pain, but I spent a while routing it and finding some good manipulations here. The first secret is down here. The thing that we got that just showed up on screen is the secret dossier. It essentially shows you when you're close to a secret so that you know, oh, maybe there's a secret down this pit that would normally kill me. You don't have to just blindly fall down all of them. So we grab the Yashichi, and then we have to grab 2 more things here. That's a surprisingly tricky skip. I'm really glad that it worked. I spent a while trying to find a setup to get that first try every time, because it can cost you a whole bunch of time. It's a pain. So this is what I call grenadeless. So what you're supposed to do is go up to the upper platform and throw a grenade downwards, and it'll blow up those blocks, and it allows you to get the grenade upgrade. But instead what you can do is just grapple really, really far into the ceiling and then blow yourself up with a rocket launcher. And that only is possible if you have pants or bulletproof vest or helmet, something that soaks one hit without damaging you. So now we don't need to get the grenades. We have the grenade upgrade, and that's good enough for the inventory. This section over here really, really sucks, depending on what the slimes do and what all the soldiers do, but I got the most perfect luck you can possibly get here. Not a single slime comes over here and interrupts me, and no soldiers shoot me. And that luck alone saves like 5 or 6 seconds. It's really, really good. Alright, so this is going to seem strange. We're going to grab the challenge room and leave. So, the reason we don't have to beat Area 2 is the same reason we don't have to beat Area 1, and that is, we don't actually get anything from beating these stages anymore. If we clear Area 2, what we get is the shotgun. But we already have the upgraded shotgun, so the game doesn't give us anything. And it's not even like the game gives you a unique message when you beat the stage. Like, if you beat the stage when you don't have shotgun, it says you got the shotgun, and if you beat it again afterwards, it just says you don't get anything. It gives you the same message regardless of what you have. I missed this grapple the first time for some reason, and I had to kill the bottom guy, because if you don't, sometimes his bullet will interrupt your swing and you're guaranteed to die, so that's why I did that. So yeah, we don't get anything from beating Area 2. We get nothing at all. It'll tell us it gave us a shotgun, but it really didn't. It's just a message that appears every time you beat the stage. And Likewise, in Area 1, it'll just tell us that it gave us grenades, but we already have the grenade upgrade. So there's no reason to actually finish these levels. And because we defined this category, and have defined this category before these skips were found, as just full inventory and all secrets, we don't actually have to kill the bosses. It's not part of our definition. So, that's that. At this point, we have all 12 Yashichis. So we're going to go to Area 0. This has 2 upgrades for us. It has the basic revolver upgrade, which lets us fire 3 bullets at once instead of 2. And it has the purple matrix. So the purple matrix is extremely laborious to collect, and it does nothing at all in this game. But in Bionic Commando 2009, if you have the purple matrix on a save file from this game, then it'll open up a door to an empty room. And that's it. So it really does nothing except waste a whole bunch of your time. This is Tunnel 1. In contrast to Tunnel 2, this is one of the easiest stages in the game once you know what you're doing. It's a really fun stage to play. And we get the helmet. So, helmet and pants and bulletproof vest, like I've said before, they just soak one hit without you taking damage. And they get refreshed every time you enter a stage. Those tunnels are interesting because it has... you're supposed to go all the way to the ends. And then you go through the exit, and then you can pass through freely. But the game puts an open door at the beginning and doesn't differentiate between the entrance and the exit. So you're free to just, like, enter the stage and immediately leave. And the game's like, alright, great job, you did it, you beat the stage. So this is the Albatross. This is the only, well, no, the tunnels are unique, but this is the main unique stage in this game. And it's really substantial. I think it's 5 minutes long and it's speedrun. And we skip a significant portion of it. So take note of everything to the right here. This room is actually really big. We've only gone, like, through 20% of it right now. So you're supposed to hit this switch. That'll activate the crushers. And then you're supposed to go to the right and around. But again, you can do this really finicky grapple. And I was fortunate enough to get it the first time here. And we can just go right back up to the beginning. So the Albatross is supposed to have 3 of these rooms. It has a crusher room, the gas room, and the electric switch room. And you're supposed to deactivate all of them because there are these 3 barriers in this main corridor. Those are your rooms right there. Those are your barriers. But you can use your iframes from taking damage to just go right through the last 2 barriers. And you can either do it by recoiling yourself into the gas with the machine gun, or you can do it by firing a rocket at the crusher while you have vests. That'll give you iframes as well. And we skip a lot. We skip a lot of this stage. And that was a really fancy grapple on the outside there. That was found by Bag the Tea, and that skips, again, like 20 to 25 seconds of really difficult platforming. Alright, so again, we have these electric barriers. There are switches scattered all over the place that will deactivate these, but switches take time. We're just gonna do the recoil trick to go all the way through. My management of ammo here was perfect because this weapon has to reload after you fire for long enough. And at the end of that, we get the Bionic Commando prototype weapon, which is a weapon that you can use in Bionic Commando 2K9. It replaces your basic revolver. It's really interesting. It is lower accuracy but higher damage than the, I think it's the Tungsten, I think that's the name. There's supposed to be 2 guys up here, but there's something with my approach that not only despawns the guy on the right, but it also forces the elevator to spawn like 2 or 3 tiles higher than it should normally. So that was a really beautiful screen. We kill ourselves here because there's a cutscene that takes just a few seconds where our helicopter pilot, Haley, gets shot down by the megacopter that the leader is riding. And then there's a cutscene there where she tells us to take the rockets and blah blah blah. But if you die in this screen, you don't have to listen to it, and that's great. So, the upgraded rocket lets us steer it. We hit both switches, that activates the elevator. And then we come up here to fight the leader. This is a pretty simple fight. I will say that, so it's 3 cycles. After I hit him the 3rd time, there's a pretty graphic cut to showing his head exploding. So if you're not into seeing that, then, you know, after I hit him twice, you can look away for a while. So this guy, he has 2 options for attacks. He can fire these missiles, or he can use his laser beam attack. The missiles are actually the faster pattern by like 2 seconds. And then afterwards, he comes down and starts shooting you, and you just shoot the cockpit with the rocket. It's pretty simple. So yeah, I got rockets for all 3 phases. So on the 3rd phase, which is coming up again, graphic content warning, it doesn't really matter if you hit the cockpit, it's just like, your rocket has to be somewhat close to him. So you can actually fire it underneath the Albatross, or underneath the helicopter, and it'll trigger this cutscene and kill him. And then what I try and do here is, while the helicopter crashes into the camera, apparently, I set myself up so that I'm walking left in the middle of the elevator when this cutscene, or when the dialogue appears, because there's a chance that you'll just, after the cutscenes, fall right through the elevator, and it saves a bunch of time. But it didn't happen, so I had to force the elevator skip on my own. And there's only one more obstacle here. That's the rematch with Groder. He was the Area 7 boss that I killed with rockets. You don't actually have to fight him because the ceiling is open, and better yet, you don't even have to trigger him if you swing as I did there. You just swing right around his trigger, and he's just stuck there staring. He doesn't do anything. And that's the game. And Spencer, you know, he grabs onto the helicopter with his non-bionic arm, and they get carried to safety. A quick note with Groder, I'm not actually sure what's supposed to happen with that fight. I've always skipped him, because it's just tradition to skip Groder. You do in Game Boy, you do in NES. But I tried fighting him once, and, well, a few times really. And one time I fought him, and he behaved just like Area 7. Like, I dealt half of his health and damage, and then he charged and went right through the wall and was gone. And another time I fought him, and I shot him with rockets, and he just fell through the floor and was gone. So I'm not sure if you're supposed to be able to kill him, or I'm not sure if he's just there to waste your time. If you're not supposed to fight him, you're just supposed to leave. I don't know. I really don't know what they were trying to do with this. But whatever. We just completely skip him. So that was the run. Again, overall, it's really good. I'm really happy with it. There are a few mistakes here and there, and a few instances of bad luck. The knife guy's charging me. Certain grapples just not connecting. I missed the grenade upgrade grapple. Somehow, I'm not really sure how, I grabbed like right into the center of the upgrade, and it just didn't connect. But that stuff's gonna happen. I got super good luck on every single boss and throughout most of the levels, especially in Area 2. And I hit every skip on the first try, so I'm thrilled with this. I mean, with perfect play and similar luck, you can cut, oh gosh, another 40-45 seconds off. But it's just as likely that with perfect play and average boss luck, I would be tying this PB. So I'm just going to be done with it. I spent about 4 years routing and practicing this, and I've only been able to record it cleanly for like the past 3 weeks. So it's a relief to finally have a clean recording, a quality recording, and a pretty good run. So I'm done with 100%. I'll probably try and improve any percent a bit more, but for now I'm going to enjoy my break. I am going to be running this at SGDQ, which is next week as of my recording. July 6th, 2017 is going to be the run, so if you want to watch this live, that's your chance. If not, I really appreciate you watching this. I hope you enjoyed the run. And I'll see you next time. 26:14 game time. Alright, take care, guys.